Hi, this is Dr. Mercola, and I've got some new exciting information to share with you about my favorite treat, coca cassava bars. You might know that I've been teaching you how to improve your body's ability to burn fat as your primary fuel. Unfortunately, the vast majority, probably over 99% of the public, does not have this ability. They had it, but they lost it because they're eating way too many carbs. So what does this all have to do with cassava bars? Well, they're really high in net carbs. 15 grams of net carbs being total carbs minus fiber. But then some interesting observations came up. So what we've learned is that if you go on a really low carbohydrate diet for long periods of times, more than a month, a few months most likely, it has to do with the way insulin works. And I learned this because I actually stumbled upon this accidentally because I have an implanted 24-hour glucose monitor. It's called the Dexcom G5, and it's usually used for type 1 diabetics, but I use it as a biohacker to understand the impact of the food and my exercise and other lifestyle interventions I have on my blood sugar, because blood sugar is a really important tool to monitor. So I've noticed that when my low carbs were really low, my sugar started to rise, actually almost even to the diabetic ranges. I said, how could this be? It didn't make any sense. So on a dare from my staff, I experimented, and I actually wanted to see what happened when I ate the cassava bar. 15 grams of net carbs. Well, guess what happened? My blood sugar dropped by about 10 points. It was incredible. Well, it turns out the conventional wisdom on how insulin works is fatally flawed. It's not true. They believe that insulin increases or drives the glucose into your cell. It actually does the opposite, it drives sugar out of the cell. So when you give insulin, how does it lower your blood sugar? It lowers it by stopping your liver's ability to produce glucose, which is called impairing hepatic gluconeogenesis. So it does it very effectively, and it did it in me. They're not designed to be taken every day, because clearly that would be an unwise strategy. It's just sort of the polar opposite of that, so you want to avoid that. But for the occasional treat, it really is great. And then I've got some wonderful news for you. We're developing a mitochondrial metabolic bar that's really good for metabolically appropriate for everyone, whether you're fat burning or not. So that's coming out soon, and I'm just happy to share this information for you, because it's great to have these types of food sources that are alternatives, because you know just as well as I that when you travel, and I travel a fair amount, that your food choices and options are limited to almost nothing frequently. So there are no healthy options. So this is exciting, wonderful news that we now have a healthy treat that we can use if you're fat adapted, and a great tasting mitochondrial bar that is metabolically appropriate for nearly everyone, that will help you better take control of your health.